Before prophecies, before miracles, there was simply a boy who dared to look up. His name was Ibrahim, and every night, while the city of Babylon lay shrouded in silence, he would steal away to the rooftops, to sit, to wonder, and to question. In his hands, the weight of tradition, an idol carved by his father's own calloused hands, smooth wood, painted eyes staring blankly into the void. Ibrahim ran his thumb over its face. How can something so silent command so many voices? No answer came, only the whisper of the wind. Below, his father Azar worked, muscles straining, sweat glistening in the torchlight. To him, these idols were more than wood. They were bread, they were honor, they were gods, or so he believed. Father, do the gods ever speak to you? Azar's laughter was sharp, a sound like splitting timber. Speak? Boy, the gods don't waste words on carpenters. Now fetch the chisel, the cedar one, and pray I don't tell the priests of your blasphemy. Above him, the last star trembled, a flickering ember in the fading night. Ibrahim watched as it too abandoned him. If you are not my guide, he whispered, then who is? But the question lingered, unanswered, unyielding, a seed planted in the cracks of Babylon's illusions. And seeds have a way of growing. There are two kinds of men in Babylon, those who kneel and those who question. On this night, the second kind became dangerous. 16 winters had hardened Ismail into a seeker. While Babylon dreamed of stone gods, Ibrahim walked into the jaws of the desert, his only armor, a question that burned hotter than the midday sun. First, he challenged the stars. You, who guide lost men home, claim your throne. But dawn came, and they fled like thieves. The boy's first lesson, even light is a slave. Silver Queen, you who rule the mad and the love-struck, speak. But the moon, too, bowed low and vanished. Another god, dethroned by the dawn. Then, the sun, blazing titan, burn away my doubts. But when it plunged into the earth like a wounded lion, the desert went cold. Ibrahim fell to his knees and wept for every hour wasted on false kings. Then, a voice that needed no ears to hear. Why chase what dies, child of Adam? In that moment, the boy became a prophet. The desert itself whispered his new name. Ibrahim, beloved of Ar-Rahman. There are moments that split history in two, moments when the very air tastes different, when sparrows fall silent mid-song. Babylon was about to learn. You do not summon God's wrath lightly. They came from every alley, priests with venom-dipped tongues, merchants clutching scales still sticky with stolen bread, mothers who traded their infants' lullabies for curses, all converging on one man and the truth they could not bear. Oh, how Nimrod loved his theatre, gold-plated throne positioned just so, wine flowing like the Euphrates in flood season. But tonight's entertainment, a new kind of fire dance. They used sacred wood, you know, timber meant for Marduk's new temple. The irony, that very holiness made the fire reluctant. Must I consume him? The flames asked the wind. He smells of midnight prayers and unborn prophecies. Down, down through layers of human hatred, past the heat that melts bones, beyond the point where even screams burn away, and there, in that molten heart of darkness, he found the coolness. The fire had no choice, you see. When the first fire spoke the command, every flame in creation bowed. They curled around Ibrahim like chastened hounds, licking his wounds instead of inflicting them. And what did they whisper, these tamed flames? Secrets even the angels lean close to hear. The one who moulded you from clay has stamped his name upon your atoms. When the sun rose, it shone on two miracles. A man walking from ashes without a singed hair, and the real victim of those flames, the lies that had fueled them. Hear that sound, Nimrod? That's the crumbling of your world. 4,000 years later, when your scholars ask why this story still burns bright, tell them, because some truths can only be carried through fire. And Ibrahim, he was just the first. This was no ordinary test, not a blade against flesh, but a soul against its own love. Ibrahim's hand shook, not from weakness, but from the terrible weight of trust. Father, gentle, if you must weep, let your tears anoint the knife, but never doubt Allah chose us both for this moment. And then, sudden crescendo, the air tore open, not with fire, but with mercy. Jibreel descended, clutching not a scroll, not a sword, but a ram, its fleece gleaming like captured moonlight. I was born for this, it seemed to say. My entire life, every thorn scratched, every stream crossed, was but a prelude to this sacrifice. 7 times she ran, not between hills, but between hope and despair. With each pass, her footprints grew darker, not from dust, from blood. You spared him from the knife, will you now take him to thirst? Then, wonder dawning, unless this is the real test. From where? From nowhere, from the same emptiness that birthed the stars. The water didn't just flow, it sang, each droplet ringing with the same command. Be. Hajar knew then, this was no mere spring. This was Allah's fingerprint in the desert. Years later, 2 men built what no empire could, not with slave labor, but with calloused hands and shared dreams. Each stone they lifted whispered, "Your descendants will outnumber us." And when the first labik echoed through the valley, pause. Every angel in heaven paused to listen. That knife still hangs over every heart. That well still flows beneath every prayer. And that house? Smiling. It stands forever, waiting for you to come home. At the edge of the world, where even scorpions fear to tread, an old man pointed at emptiness and saw destiny. They will come, my son, not in dozens, not in thousands, but in floods, wearing the colours of every nation. With trembling hands, he wrote not in ink, but in liquid light, every stroke of the pen, a fortress against the coming darkness. This was no will. This was a time capsule, sealed with tears and stamped with divine certainty. The staff broke, the body failed, but the heart, wondrous. The heart recognized the miracle. Zamzam had returned to guide him home, as the desert itself. The sand remembered his footprints, the stars recalled his questions, and the fire, oh, the fire never forgot its humiliation. The last breath left his lips, and somewhere in paradise, a door opened with the sound of 1,000 children laughing. So, this was the dream you showed me. Generation after generation, they came, just as promised, not because Ibrahim built a house, but because Allah built Ibrahim. The journey never ended, it simply became yours.